Right, so for today's video, we're going to be talking about a restaurant that has recently opened, and I think it's fair to say this new opening for this restaurant probably hasn't went as well as they were expecting. And that's because this situation that definitely doesn't make that restaurant look good by any means has recently went incredibly viral. I mean, the original video kind of talk about this is currently on just over 5 million views. And it's coming from this user right here called It's Carla BB. The restaurant in question is Kiss Cafe in San Francisco. There's some pictures here. They don't have a website, so I can't really show that, and I don't believe they have like much social media. But I mean, here's some pictures on Google, right? Kiss Cafe in San Francisco. It's owned by someone called Luke Sung, who is kind of one of the main people in this situation. We can actually see this post 10 weeks ago on the San Francisco Standard that says, Luke Sung, one of San Francisco's top chefs from the early 2000s, just quietly opened a Kiss Cafe in the former Petite Cren space in Hayes Valley. I'm sorry to pronounce that wrong, by the way. Serving up affordable wines in French-inspired small plates, Sung and co-owner Eric Lynn say that they hope the wine bar will be a third place for the neighborhood, a hangout joint where you can get a bite to eat, Sung says. And also another person that's going to be mentioned throughout this is Issa Sung, who is a TikToker of over 600,000 followers. Now, Issa Sung is Luke Sung's daughter, so she is the daughter of the owner of Kiss Cafe. Now, just quickly going back to Carla, who we spoke about earlier, it's important to know that on her page she does like food reviews at restaurants, so here's one that's an example, right? New San Francisco restaurant review, Pasino Presidio San Francisco. So this isn't the restaurant that we're going to be talking about. This is just an example of one of her videos.
Okay, I think this may be the hot new restaurant in SF for the summer. Pacino just opened in Presidio, and when I tell you this is such a beautiful restaurant with the most perfect summer vibes, I'm not kidding. But let's be honest, the food and drinks are way more important, so let's dive in.
So you get the point, right? She goes on to review the place, and for some reason we have seen a lot of situations that involve food reviewers or restaurant reviewers and like the owners of restaurants. And usually when we talk about situations like this, it's because the owner has done something like rude, disrespectful, just something bad, and it's obviously been spoke about, and I guess like the owners of these places don't realize like the effect it could have, especially on such a viral video. And that seems to be what happened here, because Carla actually organized a collaboration with this restaurant. She was going to go and do like a video review, but she actually ended up leaving crying.
I don't know if I'm going to post this video because I'm like still shaking and I feel so frazzled, but I just left a restaurant collaboration crying.
So you might be wondering, how did we get to this point? So Carla goes on to explain that they actually planned this collaboration, so she didn't just show up and think, you know what, I'm going to film this. This was something that was pre-planned.
I had a TikTok collab with a new restaurant in Hayes Valley that I was really excited for. I had it planned since last week. My reservation was at 5:30, but I went a little early at 5:10, so it was just me. My husband was going to meet me there. When I get there, I'm greeted by the host, and I introduce myself, tell him I'm here for the collab, and he was actually the guy I was speaking on Instagram with about it, so we were on the same page and ready to go.
Okay, so we saw some Instagram messages, a conversation between Carla and someone at the restaurant, I believe maybe the co-owner, but either way, let's take a read through this. Does Tuesday 5:30 work? Apologies for the change. Tuesday at 5:30 works best for me. Please let me know if that works for the team. Sure thing, I have you down, Carla. Excited to have you and a +1. Thank you so much. Super excited to highlight your amazing restaurant and share with my audience. And then another message here saying, hello, I'm reaching out to confirm our collaboration dinner tonight at 5:30. Are there any food or drink items on the menu you recommend we order? Anything that you want us to promote specifically or looks good on camera? Thank you. So yeah, I think that's an important factor in this, and it makes the restaurant actually look a lot worse in my opinion, because this was a pre-planned thing. Now, shortly after Carla arrives at the restaurant, she says that she hears the person who she organised this collaboration with and someone else, who we later find out is the owner of the place, actually having a conversation about Carla, and specifically about the amount of followers she has and like the amount of views that she gets.
I started to film around the restaurant because I like to do that early on when there's less people, and after filming for a bit, I sit down at the table that's prepped for me, and it's a bar counter seat. I'm continuing to film the setup in the kitchen and stuff because it's really cute, but I hear the host and this other guy talking, and this other guy is behind the counter, so it's a small restaurant. He's like 2 or 3 feet away from me, so I can hear everything they're saying. I know that they're talking about me because I can hear them saying TikTok, views, followers, so I start listening in. The new guy is asking the host who I am, why I'm here, and how many followers I have on TikTok and what my TikTok is. And this guy pulls up my TikTok and says that I have 15,000 followers and I have some videos have millions of views, whatever, and this guy is not happy about it.
So it sounds like this conversation went on for a while, and I guess the owner wasn't very happy with the amount of followers or views that Carla gets on TikTok, right? And instead of just getting on with it and being a good host, Carla goes on to explain that the owner actually went up to speak to her and make it known that he wasn't very happy with, I guess, Carla's followers.
I have 2 little followers and that this was a mistake. Saying what about her Instagram? How many followers does she have there? And I don't use my Instagram for food. It's just my private Instagram. So this guy tells him that I have like 1,300 followers and he is not having it. Saying to the host that he shouldn't have invited me and that this was a mistake and that this was bad. And then he says, is she dining alone? Who else is coming? And the host says that I have a +1. And then he says, and this +1's late, but no one was late. I was there early. Mind you, this is all happening in front of me and they know that I can hear because we are so close to each other. At this point, I am turning red because I'm so embarrassed and I feel really disrespected, but the new guy comes to me and I introduce myself, I shake his hand, and I'm telling him that I'm still excited about this collab. Immediately he says, did you do any research on this restaurant? Do you know what we do? Do you know who we are? And mind you, they're really new. They don't have a website, but I know their menu front and back because whenever I go to a restaurant, I study the menu because I know what I like to order and I want to know what the restaurant is that I'm collabing with.
So the conversation goes on further. This owner apparently actually brings up Carla's TikTok and starts playing the videos out loud, or just like actually the videos that show up when you search her name. So they might not have even been her videos. He wasn't like scrolling through her profile. And all in all, I guess he thinks that she's not worthy for this collaboration, I guess.
I tell him that you guys don't have a website, but I know you are a wine bar and you serve smaller bites. He is smirking while he's listening to me and saying that I didn't do any research and that he thinks that there's been some miscommunication. He asks for my TikTok, which clearly you've done no research about me as well. And he starts scrolling through and playing my TikToks on full volume at the restaurant. And not even my page, just the page that comes up when you search my name. After scrolling like 2 times, he says to me that he doesn't think my videos are at the level at which he wants his restaurant to be represented. He goes on to say that my audience and my followers are not the kind of people that are going to be at his restaurant. It seemed like he was insinuating that my followers would not be able to afford to eat at this restaurant. Then he says, not to be snobby, but do you know who I am? And I say no, because I don't know who he is. He says he's a James Beard Award recipient or finalist or something, and I'm like, great, like I don't know what to say to that. And he said that his daughter has 600,000 followers on TikTok and that I'm not at that level.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what this owner was expecting, right? Because if you actually go to Carla's page, she has 80,000 followers. It might have been a bit less before this situation. I don't know what she was actually on at the time. But she also does have some videos that have millions of views, like she mentioned, right? Like 3.5 million views, 5.9 million views. And even some of her lowest viewed videos of her like reviewing restaurants have upwards of like 20, 30, 40, 50,000 views. It's still a lot of people that could be made aware of your restaurant, but I guess he was expecting a lot more than that. And I mean, by doing that, he has been successful in a way, right? Because this video has over 5 million views now, talking about his restaurant. It just so happens it's not exactly in the most positive way possible. I guess because his daughter has like over 600,000 followers, he just saw like anything less than that as like a bad thing, and he just thought, oh, you know what, like my daughter could come and make a video, more people would see that. And yeah, I mean, look, judging from the conversation that we've heard from Carla's video, he definitely didn't come across well. Now, interestingly, we are actually going to be looking at a response from Issa Sung, so the daughter here, who actually commented on this video. But first of all, let's actually just finish this video.
He says that my cooking videos are homey, but he doesn't think I understand what they do at that restaurant. At this point, I'm crying and I want to get out, so I tell him that I'm no longer interested in doing the collab. I tell him that I felt disrespected because they were talking about me right in front of me and belittling my work. And he tells me that he was offended because I came in and didn't introduce myself to him. Which is weird because usually during restaurant collabs, the host comes and greets you because there's a lot of people at the restaurant. You don't know who the owner is or you've never seen their faces most of the time. And now it's 5:30 and my husband comes into the restaurant and he's like, hi everybody, because he doesn't know what's going on. I tell my husband that we're gonna leave and we're not eating here, and I tell the owner that I will be taking note of this because I want to be an advocate for micro-influencers, especially in the Bay Area food scene.
So yeah, like I mentioned a few times, this video ends up going viral and it results in a lot of backlash for the restaurant. And I mean, if we go over to their Google reviews right now, they're not good. They have 3,795 reviews as I'm recording this video. And look how recent these are, right? We've got this comment that's just now, a minute ago, a bunch more from a minute ago, then 2 minutes ago. Like, there are multiple comments every minute that are all negative. Now, the way Google reviews work, as we've seen in a few videos, I believe a lot of these reviews are actually going to end up being deleted. That just seems to happen whenever we talk about a situation like this, right? Because if there's like a bunch of negative reviews, I guess they notice that these reviews can't all be from people who've actually went to the restaurant before, and a bunch of them will probably end up getting deleted. Oh, actually, I've just refreshed the page because I had this page open from when I was planning the video, maybe like in an hour or two ago at this point, and now there's actually 5,500 reviews. And again, reviews from just now. It's actually quite crazy how many reviews these are getting. Now, the owner's daughter, Isa, I'm so sorry if I pronounced that wrong, but she actually commented on this video and she said, "Hi Carla, I'm genuinely so sorry you experienced this. The way you were treated is completely unacceptable, and no one should ever feel disrespected or uncomfortable in that way. I'm honestly really embarrassed that you had to go through that. Please know that I'm genuinely on your side, and I'll be having a serious conversation with my dad and the co-owner involved to make sure something like this never happens again to anyone. I've DM'd you just to check in and see if there's anything I can do to make this right. Whether that's covering your time or helping out in any other way, so sorry." So a nice comment, right? And it's also important to note here that Luke Sung, the owner, and I believe even the co-owner, or just on behalf of the restaurant on a different page, there hasn't been a statement from any of them. This is actually the only response I can see, and it's not even someone who's really involved. They're just related to someone who's involved. And I do feel bad for it as well, because if we actually go to the comments on a most recent video, which again has nothing to do with the situation, there's a lot of negative comments. A lot of comments just kind of like poking fun at the situation. Like this one saying, "I'm offended you did not introduce yourself. Wow, feeling super influenced because of your follower account." Comment here saying, "Do you know who I am?" A comment here laughing at the fact that she's not verified. I think it's important to note here that she wasn't like directly involved in this situation. Now, Carla's recently uploaded an update video 7 hours ago as I'm recording this right now. And in this video, she talks about how she is grateful for the amount of support that she's received after her original video.
First of all, I woke up today to the most supportive and kind and genuine and encouraging comments and messages. And I've read through every single one of them, and I could not be more grateful and shocked at how much empathy you guys have towards basically a stranger on the internet.
Carla then goes on to say that she doesn't condone any like slander or bullying towards like family members.
I do want to make it clear that I do not condone any type of bullying or slander to unrelated family members. My issue was with this specific restaurant and the specific management, and when this was happening, I not only did not know who he was, but I did not know that his family members were in the public eye.
And then we hear that the restaurant hasn't actually directly responded to any of this, but Carla hopes that they do take accountability.
The short update is that I have not heard directly from the owner or the host about this, and I'm really hoping that they are open to taking accountability and learning and growing from this experience. But more importantly, I have gained so many new followers from this, which is pretty surreal. I'm sad that you guys first found me with a video that wasn't very positive, but I do want to go back to posting videos about food and recipes and Bay Area restaurants that I'm really excited for.
So yeah, that's a situation. I think it's fair to say it hasn't exactly been the best opening for this restaurant, right? I mean, they have kind of just ruined their public reputation as they've just opened within a few months. Who knows if they're going to address the situation? Maybe there'll be a public response in the future. Maybe there'll be like a part 2 or an update. But as of right now, as I'm recording this video, there hasn't been anything. But with all that being said, I would love to know your opinions in the comments down below on everything we spoke about in today's video. Who do you think was in the right? Who do you think was in the wrong? Just all your thoughts, let me know in the comments. If you did enjoy this video, please do leave a like on it, subscribe if you are new. Also, if you're interested in some other content, me and Emily have a channel where we play games, react to reality shows, do vlogs, stuff like that. So if you're interested in any of that, that's always linked in the description down below. And yeah, until the next one, I'll see you guys in a bit. Alright, goodbye. Can we jump on this? Oh!
It's a freaking jellyfish, you idiot!
I fell over! Ah! What's happening to me? I'm being attacked!
Come! Hold my hand! Grab my hand!